Hello everyone, this is Michael Madden. I'm broadcasting live from RE/MAX Unlimited Real Estate on Shot Avenue, Whitehall, Pennsylvania. I'm sitting here with Gene. He actually has an office. He's with the mortgage company. We're going to talk a little bit about the process from renting a home or an apartment into purchasing a home. One of the things I see out there in the marketplace right now is there's a lot of younger career people out there that are sitting there paying a lot of money in rent, which they can actually turn that into home ownership and actually build equity as their career is building either here or if they get transferred out of state or whatever the case may be. So Gene's going to kind of, if you could introduce yourself and then we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So my name is Eugene Bochniak. I'm a licensed mortgage loan originator with the mortgage company right here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Basically, I provide all facets of residential mortgage financing for anybody that wants to purchase a home, whether it be their first home, a move-up home, an investment home, a home to renovate, whatever that may be.
Good. And one of the things that we were talking about, me and Gene, was the actual market today, right now in the Lehigh Valley. If you could talk about the demand in the marketplace and some of the statistics you were pointing out.
Sure. So there's some statistics out from 2016 that show if you look at the year 2016 as compared to the year 2015, the real estate inventory, in other words, the number of homes that are available for purchase, that are offered for sale, are actually something like a 40% reduction from 2016 to 2015. So that's a huge number. That's four out of 10 homes that were available last year are not available this year. So there's fewer homes. That means there's more competition for the individuals that want to buy a home. So what that means is when the home comes on the market and it's priced right and it looks nice, it's put together well and it's clean, there's multiple offers on that property, and that presents a problem when you're trying to purchase a home because there might be 3 or 4 other people bidding for the same home that you're bidding for, and we're running into that a lot.
Yeah, so if you're looking to sell your home, this is definitely a seller's market out there. And one of the things that Gene was talking about, and I just knew as a real estate investor when I was selling to the general public, is the banking and the financing that was attached to the offer and how critical that was. I remember there was somebody that was trying to buy one of my houses over in Bethlehem. It was about a $250,000 house. And when I did my due diligence, because I was actually selling directly to them, they were making $11 an hour at Walmart from some bank that I didn't know. So obviously I didn't take that offer, but if you could talk about how critical it is
Sure.
To have a reputable mortgage company backing you up when you're submitting an offer.
Right. Well, the first thing that's going to happen when you decide you want to purchase a home is you're going to find a realtor usually. And that realtor is going to ask you, have you talked to anybody about mortgage financing? Because most people are financing a home rather than paying cash. Some people pay cash, but the vast majority finance.
Right.
So when it comes to financing, what you do is you come to a person like me, a licensed mortgage originator, who's going to sit down with you and go over your situation. And they're also going to explain to you, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, the home buying process. You know, years ago, basically, there was a joke, all you needed was a checkbook and a pulse to purchase a home. Well, federal regulations have come into play that changed that, and now mortgage writers look at over 1,000 pieces of individual data when they go to approve you for a mortgage loan. So the first step in the process is to get pre-qualified. The best thing to do there is find somebody who's a local, reputable lender like myself, like the mortgage company. We're right here in town. Everybody that's a realtor in the business knows of us. We've been around for many years, and we have a great reputation for helping you meet the milestones in your sales contract. You're going to be expected, once you make an offer on a home, to have a mortgage loan commitment in a certain period of time. And you're going to be expected to come to the settlement table on the date that's set out on your sales contract. And if you start missing those dates, you jeopardize being out of contract, losing your deposit, losing the house, and a whole bunch of other negativity that goes along with it. So as a mortgage loan officer like myself, in my pre-qualification, we're going to get together and I'm going to explain to you how mortgage financing works, how your monthly payment works. I'm going to explain to you the costs that are involved in purchasing a home, and I'm going to ask you some very specific questions so that we can determine which of the 8 or 10 mortgage residential financing programs out there will best fit your needs from an interest rate standpoint, a monthly payment standpoint, and a cash out-of-pocket standpoint, and most importantly, your ability to qualify. Some of these programs are very credit score sensitive, some of them are not. So we're going to go through that, and I have a questionnaire that I go through, and we're going to ask you all the questions necessary to get you pre-qualified. Hopefully, beforehand, we will have gotten in touch with you, and you'll be able to bring things with you, like your most recent pay stubs, and your W-2s, and your bank statements. If not, we're going to get that information from you very shortly after we do the pre-qualification to verify that those items are accurate and the data that you gave me was accurate. Because sometimes folks don't understand. You know, they don't realize, they forget things when it comes to what happened last year. Oh, I missed 2 months of work because I broke my ankle or something like that, and it slips people's minds. So we verify that stuff, and we get that out there and make sure that that pre-qualification is solid. So now that's one of the steps in helping you compete for that offer. Okay, so now there's 3 or 4 people offering on that house, and maybe one of them went to a lender in the Midwest, and one of them went to a lender, somewhere else in the country, and you came to me, and you're a realtor, and the realtor, this is the listing agent who's working for the seller. They know of us, and they know that we can be trusted, and they know that your file never leaves the Lehigh Valley when it comes to us. You can show up in our office and visit your file, and one person works on that file from start to finish to make sure that you get through closing. I'm there to answer all your questions as things come up and challenges come up and help you handle things. We're gonna wanna edit that.
No, go ahead. Go.
All right, so basically, we're gonna make sure that that stuff stays in place, okay, and gets done right, so that your mortgage pre-qualification is as solid as it can be, and your real estate agent is able to market as aggressively as they can your offer above those 3 or 4 others that came in behind you. And they're gonna be able to position you in a way that you win that offer as opposed to somebody else that's not you.
Yeah, and I will tell you, as a listing agent, if I was selling a home, the criteria that I'm looking at really is, can this person close? When I'm comparing one offer to another, what are the contingencies? But the other consideration is, even though they say they can they close? And I've seen it a lot. And if you talk to title agents out there, they know how it feels when everything is supposed to close and we have a scheduled time and things don't work out last minute. The other side of that is when I'm representing a buyer and understanding that it's a local lender that's using at the point, and then I have confidence when I'm presenting and speaking to the listing agent that we can close, because that's where everybody, their focus is. Can this deal really happen? And the other thing I wanted to go over too is the actual letter.
Okay.
So if you could pull that letter up in your
Absolutely.
thing there, and then we'll go over the different components, because I think that could be very helpful.
So this is a sample mortgage pre-qualification letter here. As you can see, it has our logo, it's gonna have your name on it. We generally don't put a property address on it unless it's required, because you may be looking at 4 or 5 different houses, okay? It's gonna list out the sale price. There's some nice verbiage here. Thanks for choosing the mortgage company. It's my pleasure to inform you that after reviewing your credit report, your income, your assets, you're pre-qualified based on the following conditions. So this one, we just set it at a generic number of 250. Talks about interest rates, monthly payments, when the documents expire, so in other words, how long the mortgage pre-qualification letter is good for. And then it talks generically about what we need to see to make a mortgage application. So you can see there's things there like pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements. We're gonna need to get an appraisal, you're gonna need to get homeowner's insurance, and all these things need to fall into place for you to get approved for the mortgage financing, okay? So basically, the second page of this is kind of the fees and what you can expect from a monthly payment standpoint, what you can expect from a cash out-of-pocket standpoint, and it shows those various items there. And all these things vary based on the mortgage program that you decide to work with that fits your needs best. The purchase price, the real estate taxes, all those things directly impact this. But this is the letter that your seller is looking for to verify that your credit and income and assets have been reviewed and you're actually able to purchase a home. This is the first step in the process. From here, what's going to happen is your real estate agent's going to make an offer. Hopefully that offer is going to get negotiated back and forth and accepted. And then you're going to have a sales contract, and that's when the clock starts ticking. The sales contract has some very key dates to it. First of all, you have to apply for that mortgage. You have to make formal application within a few days. Usually it's 5 days or so. So time is of the essence. Secondly, once you make that mortgage application, it has to be reviewed and approved or declined by a mortgage underwriter to make sure that you can get the financing. So what'll happen is there's a date for that, and we gotta get everything in and time enough to give that underwriter the time to meet that date. Then they're gonna verify the things that we got from you, the pay stubs, the W-2s, the bank statements, to make sure there's no issues there, because the federal government and the folks that we get our money from, the agencies like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, USDA, they have a very specific format that they will accept your documentation in. So the underwriter goes through it with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that everything matches up. And then once that happens, they approve the file and they issue what's called a conditional loan commitment. and they're gonna say, okay, we're committing to lend you this money, but we still need to see that you got homeowner's insurance on the house. We have to see that the home's not in a flood zone, things like that. The appraisal has to match up. In other words, we will only lend, as a lender, we will lend the lesser of the sale price or the appraised value. So that's how that works, okay? So this loan commitment is gonna come out to you and say you're approved, but hey, we need to see page 2 of 4 of your bank statement because it was missing, or it was illegible, or something like that. So there's gonna be some things that need to be taken care of to satisfy that loan commitment. Once that loan commitment is satisfied, we can then get the clear to close, which means that we're able to go to the settlement table, hopefully on or before the date that is listed in the contract, to keep that contract, keep you in line with that contract, so you don't lose your deposit money, or so that we don't end up moving those dates. Because when you have to move a closing date, man, that can be a nightmare, because the folks that are selling that house, their purchase of their next place, the roof over their head, is contingent upon them selling the home that they're selling to you. So now we got a moving truck full of furniture. What are we gonna do with it? Because we didn't close on time, because we didn't get to the table on time. We want to avoid all these problems, and the way to do that is to make sure that at the very beginning, that whole process is only as good as the questions that the mortgage loan originator asks you at the time of your pre-qualification and the information that they verify. You've heard this all the time with computer programs and stuff, garbage in, garbage out. It's the same thing with a mortgage pre-qualification. So we spend time with you to make sure that we get accurate information and we can stand by that pre-qualification.
Well, I noticed there's a lot of advertising now for Zach Mortgage or something like that, where you go online and then 100 different loan mortgages pull your credit and really take a hit on your FICO score. If you could just speak to that
Sure.
online process and what some of the pitfalls to that process.
As I indicated, the agencies that supply the mortgage banks like us with money, the agencies, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, USDA, VA, they have a very, very specific format that they need to see your documentation in. So there's ins and outs that we know from being in the mortgage business for over 20 years myself, that there's certain ways to ask these questions that when you go in and you input your information into a form on a website, you don't necessarily know exactly what they're asking for. And there's no human being that's verifying that information that's been doing this for a long time that can tell. So you can get into a lot of problems that way. Whenever you take in something as intricate as a real estate transaction, you're going to purchase the most expensive asset you've ever purchased in your life. This is the biggest amount of money you've ever spent and the biggest amount of money you've ever secured to spend in the way of mortgage financing. You really need to have that personal human touch in there, in my opinion, to make sure that things are accurate. Okay, this is going to be emotional for you, especially once you look at a house and you get your heart set on it. And you'd hate to have that get messed up because of something that got interpreted incorrectly up front.
Right.
And by being human and being on top of this and being there with you, we can eliminate as much of that as is humanly possible.
Good. So we're going to be doing continuing interviews like this on different topics, mortgage topics. If you could just touch on a couple different mortgage type products, like
Sure.
conventional FHA.
Sure, I made mention of the agencies, okay? The agencies are the folks where we get our money from, and they set the rules for lending that money. So the big ones that you've probably heard of, Fannie Mae, okay, they do the conventional loans. Also, Freddie Mac does the conventional loans. Then we have FHA loans. Those are loans that are sponsored by the Federal Housing Administration, which is a division of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So it's a direct descendant of the government. And then if you were a veteran and you served, and by the way, if that's you, thank you very much for your service, we can do a Veterans Administration loan, a VA loan. And those have special characteristics where there's no down payment required and there's no mortgage insurance, no matter how much or how little you put down. There's loans offered through the United States Department of Agriculture. Those offer no money down programs. There's programs offered through a state agency called the Pennsylvania Housing and Finance Agency, PHFA. They have certain characteristics that may meet your needs better than others. They have down payment assistance programs. They have really low rates. They have a lot of first-time home buyer programs. So there's so many different things out there. Let's say you want to buy that fixer-upper. Well, it doesn't exactly work like they show you on HGTV, okay? The home has to be either in live-in condition now. If not, you have to do a special type of mortgage financing called a renovation loan, where we give you, A, the money to purchase the home, and B, the money to fix the home up after settlement, after you own it. So we do those loans as well. Now we can get you that fixer-upper. Let's say there's that neighborhood that you can't necessarily afford, but there's an older house in there with great bones and a great location, and it just needs freshening up, or it needs, you know,
Yep.
the plumbing's broken in it or something like that. We can take care of helping you finance that. So that's all my job in the very beginning, to sit down with you, find out exactly what you want to do, and then help you get there.
Awesome. So not to make this too long, why don't you give out your contact information, and I will also, and then we'll end this, and then
Absolutely.
we'll do another
Absolutely.
segment.
So basically, as I indicated, I'm with the mortgage company. Right now, we're located at 3500 Winchester Road in Allentown. That's right by Cedar Crest and 22 there. Next week, we're actually going to be moving. Our new office is located, we're real excited. It's located down in Hamilton and Cedar Crest, right in the same building with Office Max by Carrabba's right there. They're getting ready to build a Wawa. So we have a brand new facility there, beautiful office we're going to be taking occupancy of on February 17th. Best way to get a hold of me, as you can see up there, is my cell phone at 484-951-5434. Thank you
Good.
very much.
So this is Michael Madden. I'm with REMAX Real Estate over on Shot Avenue, Whitehall, Pennsylvania. My email address is michaelmadden@aol.com. My cell phone is 484-553-6992, and my website address is michaelmadden.realtor.